Hi guys, welcome. My name is Kylie, for those of you that don't know, and as the title says, I am currently pregnant. I'm almost 15 weeks along with my second baby. I currently live in Virginia. I'm originally from Maine, but right now I live in Virginia with my husband James, and he is in the Marine Corps. He is actually deployed at the very moment. He is in Lebanon, which some of you may have heard about that explosion that happened. It was a month ago tomorrow since he left, but he arrived the day that that explosion happened, coincidentally enough. But I'm incredibly thankful that he was not injured. He said it was within minutes that basically he left the airport before he saw just everything, all the windows just smash out. I guess it was just crazy to see. But I'm so thankful that he was not hurt. But right now I am here, and we have our 21-month-old son named Cole, and then we have two fur babies. One is a 10-year-old Saint Bernard named Bailey, and we have a 3-year-old black cat named Chiefy. So I thought that I would jump on here to kind of do a recap of my first trimester. It's something I've wanted to do for a while, is to start my own channel. So I thought this would be a great place to start, to be able to, document my journey with this pregnancy and just kind of be able to, talk about how it comparisons with my first pregnancy and this one. So let's get to it. I'm gonna say, first off, the nausea. Oh my gosh, the nausea. Like, compared to my pregnancy with Cole, I had like no nausea with him, nothing at all. And this baby is giving me a run for my money. I was sick the whole, I'm going to say the whole first trimester here. It's been about a week and a half since I think the last time that I got sick. But those weeks, like right between, like, I'm going to say probably week 6 to 9 was the worst. It was the worst. There was actually a point there, it was where I was technically at 8 weeks, 4 days, and I had to admit myself to the emergency room. Like, I was puking every half hour to an hour. I wasn't able to keep water down. I tried crackers, I tried popsicles, I tried dried toast. None of it was working, was not happening. So thank goodness James was able to stay home from work that day so that he was able to watch Cole, and I didn't have to bring him to the emergency room with me. That would have, I don't know what I would have done. That, like, phew. But at emergency room visit, they ended up doing an ultrasound because obviously it was early in my pregnancy. I hadn't had an ultrasound yet, so they elected to do it to make sure, nothing was going on in there that was serious to be contributing to my nausea or anything like that. So when they did the ultrasound, there was nothing like super alarming right from the get-go, but they did tell me that baby was only measuring at 8 weeks and 1 day, which, like I mentioned, I was technically 8 weeks and 4 days. So I didn't know if that was something I should be concerned about, or, but ironically enough, my first appointment with my OB was actually the following day. So I was able to go see her, and she informed me that it was okay. Like, we're not going to worry about it at the moment. It's if there's about a 7-day difference between the calendar versus what the ultrasound is saying for the size of baby, if there's a 7-day difference there, that's when they may get a little bit concerned. So that was a relief. But we don't know the gender of baby yet. I'm guessing, my bet is placed that it might be a girl. I know, I mean, just because I've heard that nausea is typically worse if you're pregnant with a girl. I know that's not always the case, but I've heard it's worse when you're pregnant with a girl versus a boy. And because I didn't have any nausea with my son, I'm thinking maybe we're carrying a girl. I don't know though. My husband still is thinking that we're having a boy, but I'm sure he just wants to have all the boys. So, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, as long as baby is happy, healthy, you know, that's of course all that really matters. But it is just curious, it's interesting to just see how different this pregnancy is for me compared to my first pregnancy. The other thing to mention is I wanted to say, so when my first pregnancy, I wanted to touch on when my first pregnancy symptoms kind of appeared, because it was very sweet. We ended up finding out we were pregnant. I mean, I'll try to find a picture here, but it was the day before Father's Day that I took a test, and the line, you know, like that line is so faint and you're just like, oh, is it pregnant? Is it say pregnant? I don't know. Like, I think it could. Am I just seeing stuff? I don't know. But so I was pretty convinced that it was like, we were both, my husband and I were both pretty convinced, like it said, we were pregnant. But that night we were going to his parents anyway, since the next day was Father's Day. So I ended up saying we should stop and get one of those tests, like the digital ones that are like, you're either pregnant or it says not pregnant. Like, that's pretty black and white. You can't mess that up. So we ended up getting one of those tests next morning for Father's Day. First thing, I peed on the stick, and sure enough, that little thing went right across the screen. It said pregnant, clear as day. So that was when we found out. So I thought that was really special, because my husband got to find out that we were pregnant with our second baby on Father's Day. So that was very cute. But I was only 2 days late for my period. And like my previous cycle, I was 2 weeks late for no real reason. I still don't really know what the reason was. It was very odd. So with me being late this time, only a couple of days, I didn't want to really get my hopes up that I was pregnant because of what happened the following month, or the previous month. So, but sure enough, this time around though, and this was one of the things that I noticed when I was pregnant with Cole, one of the first things was how my body, like my body temperature, it's like my body can't regulate its temperature. It's the weirdest thing. It's like, because normally I'm really cold, like especially like my fingers and my toes are always freezing cold. And right now, I mean, I should say then, like, it's like, it's been since I found out I was pregnant until, even till now, I go from moments where I feel like I am sweating to death, and then the next minute I am ready to be in sweatpants and a sweatshirt. My body can't figure out if it's hot or cold. Otherwise, the other symptom I was having was my skin was starting to be really itchy, like particularly like, you know, chest, boobs, belly, that sort of thing. Skin was being really itchy. I did want to show you guys, this is the stuff that I used this when I was pregnant with Cole, and I like the philosophy of, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I was fortunate enough that I didn't get any stretch marks with Cole, and that was the product that I used. So that's the stuff that I'm choosing to use this time around as well, and it seems to be working pretty good. And also, I don't mind the smell of it, which, like, as I'm sure every pregnant woman knows, when it comes to smell, you can just smell everything, and things can smell awful to you that didn't ever seem to bother you before. So Um, so that was probably that was like the second symptom or like body change. Um, and then the other thing was just how, like you're just feeling like you're just bloated all the time. And I'm just thinking, like, is it, you know, am I going to be expecting that I'm going to have twins in here? Like, don't be wrong, I was kind of hoping for twins, but it's just like, you're wanting to just have the belly bump, and it's like, it just looks like you ate 10 Chipotle burritos, so it's not, but it's all right. Like, you're pregnant, your family knows you're pregnant, so that's what that belly is right there. It's because you're growing a baby. It's not because you just ate, like the all-you-can-eat buffet at IHOP. So, the next symptom I wanted to mention was just how thirsty I have been, but that I can only have ice cold water. Like, and normally I'm pretty good when it comes to tolerating room temperature water. Usually I actually prefer it because oftentimes cold water, like my teeth are pretty sensitive, so I kind of like having room temperature water, but no, I have to have ice cold water this time around. If it and like therefore any drink that I have, but really it's only been water that I've really kind of wanted for the most part. Those are all the symptoms that I've really kind of had so far. I'm fortunate enough that I'm not really having any major body aches or pains yet. Obviously, it's still pretty early for that. And, I know it's way too early to be feeling the baby flutters, but gosh, I can't wait to feel those. I miss that feeling. So I'm excited for that. Otherwise, I'll just talk about my cravings right now and say the big thing that I really wanted is, if you guys haven't had it yet, from Dunkin', they make frozen coffees, and it's just like so good. It's like a coffee milkshake, but it's just so good. And now, since it's pumpkin season, like pumpkin spice frozen coffee, and a small is still okay for your caffeine allowance. I can't speak for the sugar. I couldn't even tell you how much sugar's in it. I know it's too much, probably. But, it's just what baby wants, and it tastes so good. So, that's what I've been having for breakfast. I've been having one of those, like, no joke, for the last 6 weeks. That and an egg and cheese on a bagel. I have eaten that exact thing for breakfast for the last 6 weeks. You gotta do what you gotta do. Because, like, I'm tired of getting sick. It is not fun. And then, for those of you that have experienced nausea, your doctors probably talked to you about it as an option, the over-the-counter. You can get Unisom, and then you have it with the prescription of vitamin B6. So I've just been taking that. I take one of each of those at night only. I know they say you can take it during the day, but I don't dare to do that because since it's like it can make you drowsy, I don't dare to try to do that when I'm the only one here with Cole. So fortunately, it works pretty well as long as I take it right before bed. It kind of carries me through, and then as long as I get something to eat, like first thing, I'm able to do pretty well. So that part's good. But otherwise, I think that's all I wanted to touch on for my first trimester recap. Otherwise, I'll show you a little picture of the bump. Picture from the front. So, kind of, yeah. It's obviously, it's still pretty early. So, I'm still just kind of feeling like I've got that look like I just ate, 10 Chipotle burritos, but I swear there's a baby in there. There really is, but, hopefully the bump will start, like, really showing here pretty soon. We'll see, hopefully. But otherwise, I'm going to try to do these updates on a weekly basis, so hopefully see you guys in the next one. Bye.